Fine. How are you?
I'm okay.
Dear Karmapa, we want to thank you for spending some time with us, and thank you for doing it every time you come to the Europe Center. Thank you very much. I say this in the name of all of us who are here now. And we would like to record this meeting. Is it okay?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you. Okay. So we want to start with questions? Or?
Yeah, what should we talk about?
So there is a question, and I think if I asked it, it's in the name of all of us.
Okay.
So, what is your advice for us young Kajis for the future, so that we can keep the transmission and pass on downward in the future to the next generations?
Yes.
Could you speak louder for the people in the back?
Yeah. So the question is, how can we keep the transmission and pass on downward in the future to the next generations? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there was basically one thing I wanted to say, and probably it really fits with this question. You cannot hear me? No, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Already, I think somewhere around this time when I was coming here, I wanted to say something. I wanted to sort of share something that is quite dear to me with all of you, you know. And the question that was raised right now, I think there is probably some connection maybe. Yeah. Anyway, maybe because it's being recorded, maybe maybe you can listen afterwards, because my lungs are not that good, you know. Anyway, what I wanted to say was yeah, right about his age, you know. Actually, what's his name?
Igor.
Okay.
2 years.
Yeah. So right about Igor's age, actually, yeah, is a very delicate and is a very amazing sort of, I think, part of or passage of life. I think, yeah, because you know, he's starting to sort of learn the so-called the grown-up mentality, language, culture. I don't know, etiquette, all sorts of things, you know, and then soon, before he knows it, you know, before he can even remember, he'll sort of feel like it was just a dream, sort of thing, you know, and then become a grown-up, you know, and it's not a bad thing, of course, to be a grown-up, you know. But nevertheless, at the same time, it's really, I think, important to pay a little bit of attention, you know, in terms of how this stage was actually, if you remember at all. I don't know. But we can imagine, yeah. We can imagine, let's say, if you don't use concepts, you know, how will we relate to anything? Yeah. From the moment we wake up until we go to sleep, how will we relate to anything, you know? If within those, I don't know, 12 hours or 16 hours or 18 hours, you know, simply we try to refrain from using concepts, you know, of any kind. Yeah. How does that feel, you know? So we can experiment and we can imagine. Yeah. And so therefore, this is something that I really wanted to sort of just share, because it's not going to, I mean, just by sharing this, it's not going to improve the world, or it's not going to make the world a better place, you know. but nevertheless, I thought it's very related to all of you, actually. Yeah. Now I'm supposed to be so-called 40 years old, so who is the most senior member here?
Nobody wants to
Senior
admit.
member here. Oldest.
Under the
Probably in the middle.
Well, okay, somewhere close, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, growing up and becoming an adult, it's not a bad thing, or it's not an evil thing. But nevertheless, if we find a way, I mean, the reason why we call ourselves Buddhists, the reason why we call ourselves as Kajus, is nothing really amazing, actually. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's just an excuse. It's just a reason. Yeah. It's just a reason to, I don't know, in this case, I would say to try and develop some form of awareness. Yeah. That's all there is. Yeah. Compassion, we really don't know what compassion is, actually. Yeah. I mean, starting from our parents, everyone has all kinds of good intentions, Yeah. And we can translate that as compassion, but at the same time, we more often than not we cannot really relate to them as compassion. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, but awareness is it's easy. Yeah, there is no sort of emotional depth. Awareness is just awareness. It's just saying, being awake, watching. Or opening our eyes, or opening our ears, or opening our heart. That's it. Yeah. So Buddhism is just an excuse. Yeah. To call ourselves as Buddhists is just an excuse. None of us are really Buddhists, actually. Yeah. I wear this robe, but that doesn't make me a Buddhist. Yeah. This is just a traditional kit or a tool. Yeah. And it is supposed to symbolize actually something like actually the robe is supposed to symbolize some sort of like a patient's uniform. Yeah, that's the real actually symbol. Yeah, and particularly mental patient. Yeah, actually, yeah. So it's a way to say, watch out, I have some mental issues. So it's in a way it's sort of being quite honest, so it's the robe is not to say I'm superior or I'm in some sort of in a hierarchical position better than the rest, better than the society. It's more like saying I have some mental issues here, and so therefore, like it'll be nice if you could respect that. And so therefore, give me some time, and if you can give me some food, that's great. That was it. Yeah. So the bowl that they carry, I'm sure you have seen it in paintings. Yeah, those bowls, or if you have visited in Southeast Asia, like countries like Laos or Myanmar or Sri Lanka, you see the monks carrying those bowls. So yeah, basically it's saying that if by the by, if you can feed me a little bit, that's fine. Yeah, but otherwise, whether it's orange or red or yellow robe, it's basically it's a way to say I'm going through certain mental issues. Yeah. And so therefore, how to say, it's sort of like a warning in a way. Yeah. That's it, actually. Yeah. So therefore, it's calling ourselves Buddhists is nothing really to be proud of, actually. Yeah. It's not like saying I have a special position in society. It isn't this. It's just, as I said, it's an excuse. It's a reason It's to develop awareness. Yeah. So as long as we can develop awareness, then we can relate to the most sort of basic and genuine aspects of life. Yeah, and that is how, yeah, um, how how it used to be, you know, when we came into so-called this came into being into this world, you know, and that process of slowly learning words, learning grammar, you know, learning etiquettes, like how we transformed, you know. Because soon enough, you know, by the time if I repeat in terms of the grown-up stage, you know, it's also not a final position in life. Also, that's also something very important to remember, because soon we will reach the peak of what is known as, you know, the stage of being a grown-up, and then again, very dramatically, it will sort of decrease. Yeah, I don't know, in the form of losing, you know, falling teeth, losing hair, you know, losing health, you know, losing bankruptcy, tax, you know, all sorts of things, which at the moment to us is probably not necessarily an issue, you know. Yeah, but it does become an issue, and they all sort of lead to going back to becoming ego again, actually. Yeah. Becoming a baby again. Yeah. And that's the interesting thing about life. Yeah, we begin as a baby, and we go through a certain sort of I don't know, change, and then soon after we go back to being a baby. Yeah, but a sort of overgrown baby sort of thing. Yeah. I'm sorry, my voice is not loud enough to, you know. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not used to it, so it'll sound weird, I think. So yeah, I don't know how much time we have. Okay, we still have some time, I think. Yeah. Yes.
So what should we do in between?
In between
Being a baby and being a baby.
I suppose there's nothing to do but to grow up. Yeah. Meaning, it's like a current, you know. You cannot fight against this current of growing up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to know how I can see what if I make a decision out of a disturbing emotion,
Yes.
or out of clarity.
Yeah.
Because I take many decisions out of
Yes.
disturbing emotions,
Yes.
even if I don't know that I have disturbing emotions.
Yes. Actually, there's no way of knowing. Yeah. I mean, I think if you read or if you listen to many, I don't know, Buddhist teachers or Bodhisattvas or whatever we call them, you know, it's just names, is that they either directly or indirectly seem to suggest that actually at the end of the day, this very strong, I mean, part of growing up, this is good because part of growing up seems to suggest as if there's a thing called choice, you know, there's a thing called decision. And you know, it's not that it's invented just for fun, you know. I mean, it's really thought carefully, thought through a lot of referral, you know. I don't know whether we call it you know, the higher society or whatever, you know. They thought through, and somehow they felt that there is no other way but to allow this illusion called choice, you know. Because in order for a society to somehow make progress, it's basically like a gamble. Yeah. You know, it's actually very blind, actually. Yeah. So it's like basically saying yes, but actually it's really completely made up. Yeah. And so therefore I think that's something that I don't know if it makes sense. That it's not to say we have to abolish choice, we have to eradicate that. It can never be done. Yeah. As long as there's a human condition, as long as there's a human environment, this illusion will come along with it, just like form and shadow. It'll always come with it. Yeah. But like I said, we can use a lot of excuses to be aware that that's the case, and so that we don't get completely carried away by that current. We can allow it to carry us wherever it's taking us. Because like you said, we really don't know what we do is either the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. Like of course, it's a Buddhist way of saying, you said disturbing emotions or clarity. Yeah, I mean, in short, it's like saying, is it the right thing or the wrong thing? No idea. Yeah. There is no clarity at all. But but as long as we have the awareness, that's all the difference. I think and then it's possible that through that awareness, then somehow we can turn this into something enjoyable. Yeah, as if it's some sort of I like to use the word dance, but actually I don't know how to dance. But it's something like that. Yeah, because either the world or life seems to sort of take the first step, and then you have to follow that next step. Yeah.
Thank you.
Something like that. Yes, please.
Dear Karmapa, I would like to ask you about how your daily practice would look
Yeah.
like.
Oh, it's not inspiring at all. Actually, yeah, to be really honest. Yeah. I try to follow when the conditions are there. I try to follow, some very traditional sort of practice. But then again, when you're on the move, everything is sort of disrupted. Yeah. But nevertheless, I really enjoy sort of listening to my spiritual friend or teachers, their talks. Yeah, actually, I sort of listen to their talks day and night almost. Yeah, probably that's part of my main practice actually. Yeah. So that means, of course, in Tibetan. Yeah. But beside that, yes, I have some sort of formal routine, but I think that probably that's the main practice. Yeah. I mean, in terms of formal practice, and I listen to them when I wake up. I listen to them almost like a lullaby to put me to sleep also. Yeah. But beside that, I can see that, for example, right now, in this very moment, if I want to, if I like it, I can turn this into a practice also. Yeah. Meaning that I would say, it's very informal, very informal, yet at the same time, I would say, hopefully what I say will make sense, Yeah. So then, if it does, it's a practice, yeah. Yeah. Yes, please.
I wanted to know how your child is doing.
Oh, he's doing good. Yeah. He's, I think, he's around 30 kilos, I think. 30.
Wow.
So you can just imagine, yeah. And he's very energetic, but nevertheless, he likes being carried.
That's why you have such a big bicep.
And he likes to be carried by me, of course. And he likes to use my belly. I said seat. And then he will just sometimes hold my ears and then just really look deep into my eyes, Yeah. I mean, he's doing very well. Yeah. I feel that I'm lucky that in some ways I'm able to give him that time to enjoy the baby time, yeah, which most of us maybe don't have, even if you wish to provide. Yeah. So I'm trying to use that availability to its maximum limit. Yeah. Yes.
Karmapa, I quite often think about this, and I'm afraid that I will not finish Nanda.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say about this?
Yes. Time.
Finishing Nando.
Yes, that there is because of the shortage of life or lifespan, that we have fears about whether one can finish, for example, the formal practice Ngondo. Yeah, it's. I mean, I think a traditional Buddhist would say, that's it. That's how it should be. Yeah. But I don't know. On one hand, I'm really happy to hear that. Yeah. Because normally, what is this wonder? Particularly in your culture, it doesn't mean anything actually. Yeah. Yet, when you say this, I know that obviously you are saying this very genuinely, and it's both a surprise as well as an inspiration to me, because I mean, in my culture, this is a very normal thing, and I think in my culture, I think someone of your age would not have that kind of actually. I'm being honest, have that kind of I don't know inspiration actually, yeah. And so therefore, to me, it's very inspiring to hear this, yeah. But in terms of what to do with it, in terms of when we really focus on how improbable or how impossible or how challenging it is to be able to have the ability to draw one's next breath, yeah, because anything can kill us, yeah, and we can just drop dead any moment, yeah, and so in that sense, it means that this concept of preciousness of human existence may have taken place, yeah. So it's good. I mean, from a traditional sense, it's good, but at the same time, the reason why we talk about the impermanence of life is just to have a very healthy panic. Yeah. This is to have a very healthy panic. Yeah. Bored? Must be bored. Yeah. Yeah. No, sorry. I didn't finish. Where was I? Yes. And so therefore, yeah, it's just to, if you're a little bit drowsy, the impermanence of life is just to wake us up. That's all. Yeah. So we don't have to worry. Yeah. And so most important is if you enjoy this doing Hendo. Yeah. If you enjoy it, that's all that matters. Yeah. You don't have to finish it. You don't really have to complete it. But it's interesting to say, okay, today I did this many rounds of recitation or this many rounds of prostrations or something. It's just an sort of, I don't know, uplifting tool, yeah. But otherwise, it doesn't matter, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay.
I often struggle, like when I want to do things by my own,
Yeah.
and then I act from my habits.
Yeah.
Like when I'm with others, it's more easy to be open to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But like often when I'm just by myself, it's hard to do what I think would be good. If it's good or not doesn't matter, but
Yeah.
I want to do what I think is good.
Yeah.
And I don't know what could help me, like to break the habit. I don't know.
I don't know. What would you like to do?
Yeah. Depending on the moment, I don't know.
There you go. There you go.
What?
I mean, that's always how it is, isn't it? It depends on the moment, depends on the condition, you know. Yeah. So, how to say? You see, what you're saying is a little bit similar to what you had raised. This sort of choice, you know, this idea of choice. Yeah. This is something that is coming from as we learn to grow up. Yeah. Then we feel like in front of my peers, my friends, I'm somebody. When I'm alone, I'm somebody else. You know. Actually, it's just that's just an idea that came up as we were learning concepts. Yeah. And so therefore, probably it's all about just trying to sort of examine what I said. You know, if it makes sense. Yeah. It'll take a little bit of time. You know, and then one day you'll feel like it doesn't really matter, you know. It's like saying I don't really care in a way, but it's not really being careless. It's more like being carefree, you know. And I just want to be myself, sort of thing, yeah. And then you can sort of carry that sort of part of you, whether you're alone or whether you're with your friends. I mean, in this case, I can connect that with your question about the impermanence of life. Another beauty of practicing the impermanence of life is that it's like saying, I suddenly realized that I have only 2 months to live because of because of my certain condition of my body, you know, like cancer or something. Of course, in some ways or in many ways, it's the worst news, yeah. But on the other hand, it's also a sense of freedom, you know. Suddenly, you don't care, anymore, you know. You can really be yourself. So in this case, the one of the benefit of practicing the impermanence of life is something like that, without having to have bad health, you know. So instead, you are healthy. You have everything in your hand. At the same time, you have that nothing to lose attitude, you know. Yeah. Then you don't. Then you won't even bother. Yeah. And that's so in that sense, the benefit of doing the formal practice of such as Hondo or something like this is such that you can gain that confidence, you can gain that awareness, and then you can be fearless. Yeah.
So I actually have a question. It comes from, I think, a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Especially the young kids or like teenagers that's starting to meditate and like get into Buddhism in general. How do we or I build more trust to Buddhism? Because it's always talked about like in the meditation, trust a little bit, like open yourself and trust the Buddhas and Lamas
Yeah.
and everything. But at some point there is still not enough trust for me
Mm.
because it still kind of seems like I don't know if this whole
Yes.
thing fits or if
Yes.
I'm doing right. So it's like
Yes.
a lot of
Probably it will be helpful to focus on the yeah, to maybe view spirituality in general, and then at the same time to view the Buddhist view, one could say, or the Buddhist DNA, you know, uh, which is that spirituality. Very sorry. Spirituality in general, it's it's one of those that helps us so-called relax, you know. Yes. And Buddhism have this very unique method. Yeah. It's not that Buddhism is better. Yeah. That's always very important to remember. If you think we're Buddhists, never ever think that we are better. Yeah. Then now, the Buddhist technique, let's say, and the unique DNA of it is that it really sort of slowly and surely focuses, help us focus on what we think is permanent, yeah, from the very beginning till the very end. Yeah. Meaning that the part of growing up in a society is always making us believe that there is something we can hold on to. You know, it can be the idea of, I don't know, culture, race, religion, anything, philosophy, you know, anything. And then it can sort of I mean, in terms of focus, it can be on, friendship, family, all those sort of values, and so therefore the spirituality in general, and particularly the Buddhist method, is to somehow dismantle that idea that there is something permanent to hang on to. And so that's why we focus on impermanence of life, to say that there is nothing to hang on to. Yeah, actually, for example, right now, till now, to all of you, what did you really feel? Friendship is lasting. Friends you can trust. Well, in this case, probably I'm right to say more than your family. I mean, there is it to be, in all honesty, there is that feeling, right? Like family is sort of out of date, and friends is the new frontier. But it's just doing the same thing but swapping. Yeah, it's changing the name. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. What we didn't realize, or what we forgot, is that that's part of the grown-up game. And so therefore, if you're aware, we will realize that is just a game, that is just made up. That actually, just as we could not trust this thing called family, we cannot trust friends as well. Actually, up front, to being very honest. In this case, it doesn't mean that you have to suddenly view your friends as enemies. Not in that sense at all. But it's a very courageous thing, a very healthy thing, a very honest thing. Yeah. So meaning that we don't have to trust. In this case, I'm coming back to your question. If you view it that way, we don't have to trust Buddhism yet. Yes. This thing called Buddhism. And Buddhism is very cool about it. That's why it says in the very beginning that Buddhism should be seen as a vehicle. Once you reach your destination, you leave the vehicle behind. You don't carry the vehicle with you. Like, it can be a car, or it can be a plane, or it can be a boat. Yeah, you use it till you reach your destination, but afterward you leave it behind. So it means it goes to show that it has no hard feelings in a way. Yeah. So we don't have to hang on to it. Yeah. because we feel that the ghost of the language somehow sort of, I don't know, seems to somehow suggest like as if because I'm a Buddhist now, I have to hang on to this thing called Buddhism, you know, this Buddhist identity. No, we don't. We don't have to. Yeah. No one is there in the past, or was there in the past, or is here now, or will there be in the future who says you have to hang on to it, you know? No, we don't. Yeah. And yeah, you know, how to say, I don't know. I wish I had more time. I'm sorry I came late because yeah, I would have loved to sort of say a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I have kind of a personal question.
Yes.
I tend to get overwhelmed pretty easily.
Yeah.
So, like, I tend to get panic attacks easily, especially in exams, and I'm gonna graduate next year, so I'm gonna have my finals next year.
Yeah.
And in this day when I'm panicking, I'm getting very emotional.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know how to get out of it. So, like, I messed up some exams because of it. And
Yes.
actually, like, a lot of times, also, I feel very overwhelmed and I can't get out of it. And my mom keeps telling me to just meditate, but she tells me. I don't know, and sometimes I just don't know where to start, and then I'm getting more and more exhausted, and I
Yes,
feel
yes,
I don't even have energy to do this anymore. And I just keep laying in bed and watching something on my phone, and I can't just get out of it.
Yeah.
What was the question in short?
What to do with exam? No, but fortunately, because I never went to school, I never had to go through that. But I can relate, you know. And I think probably just sort of switching one's view, I suppose. A change of perspective could be interesting. I'm not saying it's going to help, you know. Meaning that every passage of life. Yes. Yeah. Actually, that's a door, no? Okay. Oh, okay. Hey. Yeah, every passage of life actually, from now onwards until however long you're going to live, you know. I mean, live, you know. Every time, I would say that cycle will come, you know, continuously, yeah. And when we talk about rebirth, the death is sort of like the sort of the final cycle of this life, let's say, you know. And what I'm trying to say is that each of those sort of I don't know, when you reach that end of that cycle, it's the same. Basically, what I'm trying to say is to say, right now it's just the as you said, this trying to understand what this feeling is like. You know, all kinds of anxiety, all kinds of hopes and fears come. Yeah, and mostly it's coming from expectation, I suppose. Expectations from family, expectations from friends, from peers. You know, and right now. It feels like I have to say, in some ways, I have to deliver, you know. I have to get through this, you know. And as if it's real, that's the thing. But the truth is, actually, it is no more real than than death itself. Actually, yeah, it's not real at all. Yeah. Yet it's it's an amazing, passage of life where it can give us a glimpse of what, I don't know, what death looks like actually. Yeah. Because whether you succeed or whether you fail in this so-called exam, it's not really going to do anything actually. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah. I mean, the sun will keep on setting and the sun will keep on rising, nothing will change actually. Yeah. But all this built up, we cannot exactly say it's also for nothing. It's not nothing also, but it does do something. It gives us a glimpse of how this thing called death looks like actually, or life looks like actually. Either way, it doesn't matter. Yeah, because it's about sort of reaching the highest point of, I don't know, anxiety in a way. Yeah, and for that it needs a build up. So the expectations, your own aspirations, a sense of maybe even healthy competition, I don't know, or the uh, mm, challenges of life in terms of maybe survival, or in terms of realizing your dreams, all those are sort of built-ups, and then they will all sort of come together and reach to that sort of point where you feel that this is the most sort of real, I would say, state of life in a way. Yeah. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is probably, if you look at it from a different way, maybe you don't want to miss this point. Yes, it's difficult, it's tiring, it's exhausting, it's too much, But at the same time, maybe you don't want to miss this, So therefore, maybe you want to head on, how to say, towards this thing called exam in a way, and then see what it is really all about, Yeah. Like, tell yourself that maybe you are not the first person, but maybe the second or third person in a way. Yeah. Maybe you will see it completely different, and in fact you come out of it with an amazing experience, without actually having to die. Yeah, something like that. Okay, you had a question earlier.
How can we develop the 4 activities, for example, inspiring? And if we have them, how can we use it for benefiting others?
How do we use activity? Sorry.
How can we use them for benefiting others if we have them?
If you have,
for example, an inspiring activity.
Yeah.
How can we use it?
Right. Like I said, we really don't know. Yeah. We really don't know what is the right way, actually. Yeah. And Buddhas themselves, they look like as if they know everything, and they have titles like as if they know time and space and mind and everything, But actually, they don't. And they're very honest about it, and to say either there is nothing to know, that they have tried, they have tried to know, and at the end, the only way they came out of it was to accept that it's impossible to know. Yeah. So therefore, I don't know, if something inspires us, it can be anything, I don't know. It can be about Mommy? Good luck. Whatever that makes us feel, I don't know, either alive or inspire us, just, I don't know, meaning that inspiration must have come through doing something you really want, not because somebody said so. Yeah, meaning the social pressure is one of those where everybody says this is the right thing to do, you know, and then you're trying to sort of upkeep that, and I think that's not really inspiration. Yeah. Whereas if you do something that you really, really feel that this is the right thing to do, absolutely right thing to do, and you do it to the best of your ability, yeah. And but of course, there is no guarantee whether you will really realize your dream or not. Yeah, that's a big gamble in a way. Yes, but at least towards the end, you will feel like you have something real. You know, you made a real experience. Yeah. Now, whether this is going to help others or not, no one knows. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I have a question. I sometimes feel that certain words or
Yeah.
certain sayings trigger my identity
Yes.
and make me feel unsure.
Yeah.
And I don't want to walk on eggshells through life.
Right.
I want to be free of the opinions of others about my identity, which
Yeah.
I created myself.
Yeah.
So do you have some sentence I could speak to myself, or maybe other people? I think experience also some sort of this is my identity, which is made up by our own ideas.
Yeah.
How can I go about it with less tense
Yeah.
and even more joy in life, so
Yeah.
then I can benefit others even through the joy more?
I'm sorry, I don't know. Yeah.
Is it an experience where you say like through the impermanence, where you say, okay, now it doesn't really matter, I just be myself? Or
Yeah.
at what point is it?
I suppose I might say something similar to just being yourself. Yeah. But we don't even really know what that means also, yeah? Actually. Yeah. Does it mean that now we become a vegetable, you know? No, not a vegetable. Couch potato. Yes. You know. But we don't know. But who knows? Maybe we have to experiment with that, you know? Yeah. We have to experiment with that and see where this will lead us, yeah. Yeah. But otherwise, yeah. As long as we don't do something that is you know, according to your heart, let's say, yeah, we will never really make an experience. Yeah. Of course, using the I don't know, whatever form of formal education that we grew up with, they will help us, you know, to either accelerate or accentuate in helping you know, what we want to do. Yeah. But otherwise, it's really, at the end of the day, it's all a mystery. Yeah. We feel like right now there's a sense of family, there's a sense of, I don't know, brotherhood or sisterhood or whatever, you know. But we really don't know what all this means. Yeah.
So there is no safety in life.
That's the thing. Yeah. This it's good to feel that safety. Yeah. That safety net, that wall behind, let's say, or the floor underneath, you know, in the form of friends and family and whatnot. Yeah, it's good. And it's a luxury, you know. But but we have to somehow, I suppose, not we have to, but it makes sense to somehow not to burden this, you know, not to burden this floor, or not to burden this backbone, you know, too much. Yeah. And the best way to sort of complement this luxury is to somehow let go of it. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of breathing, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, breathing in is most important. Oxygen is most important, right? But just because it's important, we cannot hold it, Yeah, we have to let it go. Yeah, and there is no guarantee whether it will come back. Yeah, but there is benefit in letting go, because then you make room for the next, breath. Yeah. So it's, something simple, like that. Yeah. Yeah. do we have time? No.
What is time?
Okay, maybe just one last one. You have to go now. Okay. We have time. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Do you have an advice for letting go?
I think I just said it probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Meaning, letting go of maybe comfort, letting go of, I don't know, like habits, and then slowly letting go of maybe something more tangible, let's say like friendship, or someone very close to us, yeah, in terms of the disappearance of the physical state, and yeah, there are a lot of things, and it's and the pattern is very similar, yeah, in terms of breathing, they came in like a miracle, meaning we didn't plan for it, we didn't ask for it, yet it came, and so therefore it only makes sense to it's not really letting go, it's more like sort of letting them be in a way, yeah, because it appeared in that mysterious way, and so therefore let that mystery be, sort of thing, yeah, and so therefore as if we have a part to play in it by saying that I am letting them or it go, yeah, that's about it, yeah. Otherwise nothing's really being changed, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Dear Karmapa, as a student of Lama Ole, how do we reconcile? Like Lama Ole's advice many times is that he wants his students to be not medium-sized top. He wants us to go for the maximum all the time. He wants, in a way, our goals and our goals in life to be relatively ambitious.
Yes.
At least that's the feeling I get.
Yeah.
So how do we reconcile that with, I would say, the Buddhist concept I've heard many times, that there is nothing to accomplish in samsara?
Yes. Well, I mean, is probably a good, I don't know, good meditation or a good contemplation is to really see, is there anything to accomplish, meaning by ourselves, like really sit down and think through, and when we have some time, and see what can we really accomplish, Of course, the linear history seems to suggest like, a certain individual's achievement, the impossible dream, and so on, yeah. But did they really make a difference, did they end wars? Did they end hunger? I mean, famine, or did they end disease? No. I mean, it's safe to say it's no. Yeah, no one did. No matter what kind of amazing contributions they made to the world. Without taking away any kind of credit. So probably in that way, it's not really sort of made up in a way. Yeah? It's a fact. And and I think it's important to focus on that. Yeah. Then now in terms of we don't really know why we are here, or why we feel like we exist, Yet at the same time, by trying to, trying to have a dream, trying to have some kind of ambition, what does it do? Yeah. Again, we can focus on that. It doesn't do anything, like, just as I said right now. Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't do anything in terms of in terms of mission or goal or anything, you know. Yeah. And most likely, it just does one thing, yeah, only one, which is to make this moment worthwhile. Yeah, yeah. It just lifts the spirit up. Yeah, okay. It lifts the spirit up. Okay. It lifts the spirit up. Yeah, and that's all we need, you know. Yeah. Meaning it's the inner sort of quality, yeah, that we need, you know. It's if you have friends, if you have good health, if you have many things, great, it's a luxury, you know. But at the end, if you have that inspiration or that spirit, that's all that matters. And so therefore, yeah, it's probably similar to what I said, you know. We how to say, we are not going to amount to anything that is going to change the world, you know. Meaning, end samsara, you know, and have the enlightenment, the kingdom of enlightenment victorious, you know. You know, but if we do what we do, what we like to do, you know, what we feel like we want to do, even if it's the worst thing, I don't know, meaning like being a couch potato, you know, but do it to the best, you know? See how long you can sit there, you know. And then that's all there is, you know. It's all for that enjoyment. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing more. And we have now in this sense, then friends and family are there to somehow make that more exciting by saying you shouldn't do that. You know? Yeah. That's the idea. Yeah. Well, then, if you don't mind, I think it's time. Yeah. So we will meet up.
Thank you so
Thank you so much.
Can we try to take a picture? Everyone sits down and
yeah.
Everyone, you want to sit down real quick?